Matthew chapter 8, verse 1. When Jesus came down from the mountain, large crowds followed him. And a man with leprosy came and knelt before him and said, Lord, if you're willing, you can make me clean. Jesus reached out his hand and touched the man. I am willing, he said, be clean. Immediately he was cured of his leprosy. Then Jesus said to him, see that you don't tell anyone, but go show yourself to the priest and offer the gift to Moses, commanded as a testimony to them. Now, if you want to see that last part, turn to Leviticus 14:3, and it will tell you what a leper had to do when he was cleansed. But do you see, it tells you quite clearly there in verse 4 that Jesus was legal. He was not a revolutionary who went against the law. He was revolutionary in his ideas. But some of these Christians who say, oh yes, you can break the law, they're not in line with Jesus. Jesus said to this man, you do the things that the law has told you to do. Go and show yourself to the priest. Give the gift that was commanded. Keep the law. That's what Jesus said. And some Christians get off center to do their own thing and say, that's what Jesus did. No, he didn't. That's not what Jesus did, and that's not what Jesus commanded. And we have to be very careful of that. If we claim to be walking with Jesus, we'd better be walking accurately. But there's more here than this. This man had faith. Listen to it. Verse 2. Lord, if you're willing, you can make me clean. Lord, if you want to, you can heal me. There was no doubt in this man's mind. Friend, when you're sick and you pray for healing, are you certain? Are you like this fellow? Well, you say, he could see him. All right. Are you saying to me that Jesus is not as real today as he was for this fellow? Well, I didn't say that, but he could see him. I know. So what you're saying is, because he could see him materially, Jesus was more real then than he is now spiritually. Well, yeah, that's what you're saying. But this man had the faith. And by the way, he was doing something he shouldn't have done. You realize that, do you? In the Jewish way, a leper was an outcast, a social outcast. He could not approach anybody, not even Jesus. And several lepers did during his ministry. They had to keep away from everyone. They could only mix with lepers because it was such a contagious disease. And they had a bell round their neck. And as they walked along and this bell rang, they had to shout out, unclean, unclean, so that everybody else could get out of the way. What a thing to do. Can you imagine it? Can you imagine how totally rejected they were? They were outcasts. And here's this fellow, and he comes to Jesus, and he falls at his feet. And notice, verse 3, Jesus touched the untouchable. Jesus reaches out his hand, touched the man, and said, I am willing. Be clean. Isn't that neat? I am willing. Be clean. I want you to know, when you go to Jesus for healing, he is willing. The Father knows how to give good gifts. Why doesn't he heal everyone, Richard? I don't know. I've been trying to figure that out for 11 years. I don't know. There's no equation, there's no formula. I don't understand it. But I know this. I know that it's God's will for all his people to be well. And by that, I believe he means whole. Absolutely whole. Complete. That's what Jesus wants. And then something else. I love it. The end of verse 3. Immediately, he was cured of his leprosy. Immediately, he was cured of his leprosy. I love these people who say, but Richard, maybe the Lord wants us to be sick. He wants us to go on with... I never hear that in the gospel. I don't hear him say to the leper, friend, you're doing wonderfully. You're just shining for God. Carry on. I'll see you in 3 weeks. Didn't say that. And I don't find anyone who came to Jesus for healing being told to go back home and continue to be a witness in their sickness for Jesus. That's not the way it is. Jesus healed them. And Jesus healed everyone who came to him. All the time. In fact, there's one spot in the gospel where it says they brought multitudes to him and he healed them all. Everyone. They all received healing. Well, Richard, why don't we see healing today? 2 things. First of all, and basically, the church does not believe. They don't. You think, on Sunday morning, if I come to your church and I give out paper to every person there and say, do you believe for physical healing miraculously right now here in this service? What do you think the response would be? Ooh, not too good, would it? And that's true of most churches. And it's even true of our ministry, which is a ministry in which we experience healing. Not everybody believes for healing. And I believe basically the problem we face today is the unbelief of the body of Jesus Christ. I think if everyone believed, we'd see the most incredible things happening. There was a church in Pittsburgh where Russ Bixler was the minister. No one was sick in that church. They had all been healed, and they began to minister to others. It can happen. The trouble is it doesn't. And sometimes it's taught that we're not to expect healing. I do. I expect it.